This is the AB4WS radio show. Every week, bringing you the exciting amateur radio news and information happening in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana areas.
The AB4WS radio show can be found on the Apple Podcast app or your favorite podcast application. Happy New Year! The Greater Cincinnati Amateur Radio Association welcomed in the new year in their traditional fashion of hosting the weekly 1936 net, only this time on old-time amplitude modulation.
Good evening, everyone. Just checking the controls here, and it looks like everything's okay. CQ. Calling CQ for the Greater Cincinnati Amateur Radio Association 1936 net. The GCARA 1936 net meets every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on this frequency, 1936 kilohertz, plus QRM. This net was founded in 1936 by a group of amateurs who were members of the newly formed Greater Cincinnati Amateur Radio Association. It was reestablished in 1986 as part of the 50th anniversary celebration of the GCARA. The net has met ever since on this frequency every Thursday evening at this time. Tonight, however, since it's the last Thursday of the year 2023, we are having our special AM edition of the net. And as Jeff and Jay and all the other pre-net stations have said before me, everyone is welcome, especially with modern equipment, old-time equipment, all kind of equipment. And we'll go over what we're running here in just a second. You do not have to be a member of the GCARA to check in. QRP mobile and special interest stations are always welcome. Well, my name is Jay, KTJY, and Jeff, WHGNM. And the control station tonight is November Mike 4 Alpha. The name here is Bill, and I'm located in Union, Kentucky, about 15 miles southwest of downtown Cincinnati, Ohio. First of all, is there any emergency traffic?
For a full recording of the 2023 GCARA 1936 AM net, check out the AB4WS radio show special 1936 net on your favorite podcast application. Greater Cincinnati Amateur Radio Association invites you to join them every Thursday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on 1936 kilohertz and lower sideband, one of the most interesting nets you'll ever check into. We welcome Scott Yonley, N8SY, as our new Great Lakes Division Director, and Vice Director Roy Hook, W8REH. Scott is already moving the division forward with a new GLD newsletter, changes to the Great Lakes Division website. We look forward to their leadership and communications. The Henderson County Amateur Radio Club awarded certificates of appreciation to former President Brian Carter, former Vice President Jerry Schaus, and former Secretary Gisela Boylan for their services to the club at the December holiday meeting. Congratulations to Bob Alphin Jr., K4UEE, who was given an Award of Excellence by the Southwest Ohio DX Association in recognition of him being an excellent DXpeditioner in all aspects of amateur radio, working many entities worldwide which otherwise would not have been possible without his commitment, dedication, and effort. Congratulations. Congratulations to Tim, the ham formerly known as KJ4HPG, but now known as W4TWL. Congratulations, Tim. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the family and friends of Jerry Thiemann of Houston, Missouri, who suddenly became a silent key. Jerry was an avid POTA hunter and frequently worked many of the local Parks on the Air activators. He will be greatly missed. The Bluegrass Amateur Radio Association will hold their monthly meeting on January 8th at 7 p.m. at the Red Cross Building, 1450 Newtown Pike in Lexington, Kentucky. They will talk about their winter field day plans, and James Stone, K3OB, will be giving an overview on FT8 and how you can get the most fun out of this fun mode. The Queen City Emergency Net will meet on Thursday, January 11th at 7:30 p.m. at the Red Cross Building, 2111 Dana Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio. There will be an election for the 2024 officers and a program on DMR radio and hotspots. The Brunch Bunch will be meeting on January 13th at 1 p.m. at the West Shine Family Restaurant, 3245 Westbourne Drive in Green Township, Ohio. Come on in and join in on the fun. In Anderson County, Kentucky area, a group of amateur radio operators invite you to meet them at 8 a.m. on the second Saturday of each month, this time on January 13th at the Dairy Queen in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, where they'll discuss a variety of radio topics and wander off to other topics of interest as well. A great social event. On January 13th at 11 a.m., the Emergency, Disaster, and Communication Corps, along with the Bluegrass Amateur Radio Society, will have a severe winter weather exercise at the Bars Club Ham Shack at the American Red Cross, 1450 Newtown Pike in Lexington, Kentucky. They encourage all attendees to bring in their favorite HT amateur radio to learn how to program their radio using the faceplate of the radio so that if you're called upon to provide communications for an emergency event, they'll be comfortable with their own equipment. They'll also review what groups will need our communication skills, discuss the importance of being able to provide accurate boots-on-the-ground weather reports in the field to the Fayette County EOC, National Weather Service, and Kentucky Emergency Management, and they'll discuss the importance of being ready for a potential loss of power during a winter storm and the emergency communications plan. The Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club has changed the date and location of their meetings, with the new officers group committed to making positive changes for the members of the organization. The meetings will be held on the third Monday of each month. This month's meeting will be on January 15th at the Bethesda Community Church, 989 East Mount Zion Road in Independence, Kentucky. For more information, go to k4co.org. On January 19th, the Henderson County, Kentucky Amateur Radio Club will hold their meeting at 7 p.m. at the Henderson County Extension Office at the Anderson Community Park in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. At the meeting, they will introduce the new leadership team, which is excited to provide the members with a great amateur radio experience. January 20th is the Ohio Aries VHF contest, which is open to all operators starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time and ending at 4 p.m. Communications will take place on 2 meter, 6 meter, 70 centimeters, FM, as well as simplex and digital voice contacts. For the rules or to register, go to ohsimplex.org. January 27th and 28th is Winter Field Day. Already several clubs are planning their field day experiences. The Bluegrass Amateur Radio Society will be setting up camp at the Kentucky Horse Park, 4089 Ironworks Parkway in Lexington, Kentucky. The QCEN Amateur Radio Society will be setting up at the Harvest Home Barn, 3961 North Bend Road in Cheviot, Ohio.
Do you know where the action's at?
On weekday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, the action is on D-Star Reflector REF035 Charlie, where the digital radio enthusiast net meets every weekday morning. This net comes from the Great Northwest, Washington, Oregon area, but it has check-ins from all over the country and the world. My favorite is Tuesdays when Duff, WA7BFN, a former professional broadcaster, is net control, and John, KD7AAT, gives the question of the day. This net is always enjoyable and interesting, and is one of my favorite general nets. So if you're looking for where the action is and on weekday mornings, check out D-Star REF035 Charlie.
Repeater news.
The Henderson Ky DMR Repeater is up and running on 145.660, color code 1.
Hamfests.
On January 14, 2024 is the Sunday Creek Amateur Radio Federation Hamfest at the Shade Community Center, 2380 Old US 33 in Shade, Ohio. For more information, contact KC8QDQ. On March 16, 2024, the Sevierville County Amateur Radio Society sponsors the 2024 Sevierville, Tennessee Hamfest at the Sevier County Fairgrounds, 754 Old Knoxville Highway in Sevierville, Tennessee.
Are you looking to upgrade your license? Do you have someone else that's interested in the hobby? Here are some upcoming exam opportunities.
The Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will once again offer online classes to pass the FCC General Class exam. Classes will be held via Zoom on 6 Sunday afternoons from 1:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. First class will start on January 14th. The classes are free and available to all interested hams with technician class licenses or studying to complete their technician class license by the end of the classes. Class materials will be distributed via Google Classroom, and the suggested book is the General License Course Study Guide 2023 to 2027 edition, available from hamradioschool.com. For more information, go to tiny.cc/BEHAMG. General license classes are being offered via Zoom starting on Saturday, February 10, 2024. They'll meet each Saturday morning from 9 a.m. till about noon Eastern Time. They'll discuss all 10 sub-elements by April 13th and have a review on April 20th, and then conduct an official exam on April 27th in Heath, Ohio. For more information, contact Earl Pazig, W8BR, at 740-504-1950. A free weekly live amateur radio extra class licensing course will be on Zoom and begin on Thursday, January 18, 2024, and run through Thursday, March 28th. There'll be 11 sessions. The 3-hour sessions will start at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Sessions will be recorded. Those attending should hold or be studying for a general class amateur radio license. These are classes that have been held for many years, sponsored by the National Electronics Museum. If you wish to sign up, you should email Roland, R-O-L-A-N-D, .Anders, A-N-D-E-R-S, at Comcast.net. The Milford Amateur Radio Club holds amateur radio testing on the third Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. at the Miami Township Civic Center, 6101 Meyer Drive in Milford, Ohio. Please pre-register at milfordhamradio.org. The Dayton Amateur Radio Association has exams frequently. For their exam schedule, email exams.w8bi@gmail.com. On January 6th at 10 a.m., the Greater Mason County Amateur Radio Association will be sponsoring an amateur radio license exam session at the Emergency Operations Center, 668 Kenton Station Road in Maysville, Kentucky. Registration is required by contacting Greg Taylor at 606-584-0014 or email him at drtaylor@maysvilleky.net. On January 13, 2024, at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio license exam session sponsored by the Westchester Amateur Radio Association at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WC8VOA. On January 13, 2024, at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio testing session at the Clark County Emergency Operations Center, 200 Maryland Drive in Winchester, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/AC4YD. For more information, contact Daryl Epperson, AC4YD, at 859-771-1834. On January 19th at 6 p.m., there'll be an amateur radio license examination session at the Henderson County Extension Office at the Henderson County Community Park in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. On January 23rd, 2024, at 6 p.m., there'll be an amateur radio testing session at the Henderson County Extension Building. Use the rear entrance, lower level, at 1026 County Park Road in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. For more information, contact Brian Carter, KI4TLW, at 502-545-0376. On January 27, 2024, at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio testing session sponsored by the Wilderness Road Amateur Radio Club at the American Legion Post number 46 at 45 Spears Lane in Danville, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions. For more information, contact Carol Miller, AF6MB, at 541-602-6535. On February 3rd, the Lake County Amateur Radio Association will be sponsoring an amateur radio testing session at noon at the Kirtland Library, 9267 Chillicothe Road in Kirtland, Ohio. For more information, contact Scott Farnham, KO80, at 440-256-0320, or email him at SCOTTFARNHAM@roadrunner.com. The Western Kentucky DX Association will sponsor an amateur radio license testing session on February 4th, 2024, at 2 p.m. at the Woodman Life Building, 519 Old Morgantown Road in Bowling Green, Kentucky. For more information, email Henry, W4HTB, at W4HTB@IEEE.org, or call him at 270-793-4822. On February 10th, 2024, at 10 a.m., the Bluegrass Amateur Radio Society will be giving an amateur radio license exams at the Red Cross Building, Classroom A, 1450 Newtown Pike in Lexington, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/KE4MAI. For more information, contact Fernie Williams, KE4MAI, at 859-536-3393. On February 10, 2024, at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio license exam session sponsored by the Westchester Amateur Radio Association at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WC8VOA. On March 9, 2024, at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio license exam session at the Georgetown Police Department, 550 Bourbon Street in Georgetown, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WX4GPS. For more information, contact Ron Malinowski, WX4GPS, at 502-542-8252. Special thanks to this week's content contributors, KY4GW, KN4COE, WB8YYS, KD8ZLD, K9HIO, N8LAR, K4NKU.
If you have something you think other amateur radio operators in the area would be interested in, send the information or your recorded audio file attached in an email to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com.
Covering your amateur radio news and information in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana area. This is Jack Prindle, AB4WS in Big Bone, Kentucky.